Let's make lemonade. Okay. Let's go to work.
That's the signal! Go! Six! It's beautiful! Mother Nature just pissed her pants, dude!
Start your day with a jolt of energy and no-holds-barred opinions. This is The Rush, where Travis Justice and Ross Peterson bring you bold, unfiltered, and uncensored takes on sports, life, and everything in between. Buckle up and let's go.
Happy Wednesday. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive. You're listening on the audio stream at therushradio.com or on the Rush Radio app on your Android device. Thank you so much for tuning in this morning. If you're watching on YouTube, hello. Good to have you along. Hit the subscribe button to this channel, like this video, start leaving your comments in the comment section. And, of course, you can follow us on our social media channels, X at Rush Mornings, Facebook, The Rush with Travis and Ross, and Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. Hello, Ross Peterson.
What's up, buddy? How's midweek treating you so far?
I'm cold today. I'm very, very cold this morning. We've shut the air conditioner off. It's like 47 degrees. And I got up this morning and I'm like, the house is cold. I'm going to throw on a sweatshirt. So I got a sweatshirt on.
I do the thing that I think makes Joe Tolari over at Metro Heating and Cooling lose it. I saw Joe, by the way, this weekend in passing at a graduation. It was like, Joe, gone. But I shut down the whole system. I was thinking of this morning about how May is my favorite month because my furnace and air conditioner have been off.
It will be your lowest electricity and gas bill of the year.
Well, they do this thing. They do the budget billing thing where it's the same bill all year long. But yeah,
and I like that. I do the same thing because at the end of the year it evens out. I don't. Yeah, I think.
Well, I don't have a $900 January.
Yes, because it's about cash flow. You're trying to manage that cash flow.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I was thinking that this morning. Like I woke up, it was a little bit cold in the house. And you have that thought. You're like, going to the shower. You're like, oh, it's kind of chilly this morning. Ooh. Maybe turn the heat on. Hell no, turn the heat on. It's May.
Did you take a cold shower? Are you a Bruno and take a cold shower?
No. The only time I'm a cold shower guy is after yard work. You're dripping sweat. You're covered in grass and dirt. Then it's cold shower time. And that's the best feeling. I'm not a shower. You and neither one of us have ever been real big drinkers in our life. I've never been a shower beer guy. And I know a lot of guys that are like, that's the greatest moment of my life.
Taking a shower and drinking a beer?
You never heard of this?
No.
Look at the look on your face. Wow.
Because I don't want to bring, I've got water pouring down all on me. The last thing I want is to have a Busch Light sitting there and going, I'm going to step out of the shower, drink a beer.
No.
Well, I mean, step out of the water, not out of the shower.
I don't even know that you step out of the water necessarily.
Ugh.
I'm just saying, I think that, Trav, this is a thing of ultimate relaxation for some guys.
Yeah. I like to take I'm not a long shower guy. I'm probably a 5-minute guy. Cracks.
When my foot was hurting and hot water helped my foot, I was taking long showers, just standing there letting the hot water beat on my foot. I took a long shower last night, but it's just us girls, right?
Just us girls. Yes, it's just me and you.
All right, I get these weird things. I get these boils on my backside. Yeah. So remember yesterday
on your butt?
I'm a butt cheeks. My dad is convinced it's because of his exposure to Agent Orange. He thinks this is why my brother and I both get these. Sorry, Brad.
I just think it's because you sit on your ass a lot.
I think it's because I'm bony and I sit on my butt a lot. Yeah, right. But so the best way for me to get to pop those is hot water.
Come over and pop them.
Courtney was unaware of these until last night, actually. She called me and she's like, "You're showering it."
I thought you were going to say she was showering with you, and she was like grabbing your cheeks and like, oh, what's the bump
hell?
down there?
You're getting a butt. No, that's a bump.
Working around to the front, and then hit a little.
No,
pump.
this was self-diagnosed. But I was getting the hot water on there to try to get that so I could get that out. So long showers of that. Now I am guilty of taking my phone into the shower because I'm usually listening to something or watching something.
Not in the shower. You've had it like placed on the toilet so you can.
No, I take it right in the shower and I set it up on the little shelf where the shampoo and the soap is.
Okay.
Put it in the sink, and I would put it in the sink because it made for like a speaker, right? It would make it really loud. And then one day I threw my phone in the sink, and I realized I didn't have a towel or something, so I went downstairs to go get. And I realized that doing that, you can hear it throughout the entire, like it echoes through the whole house. I'm like, that's kind of rude. So now I just put it in the shower with me. And
okay.
Shower beers are very popular. I'm surprised.
Yeah. I've never been a shower beer guy. I've never even. I don't bring any liquids with the exception of body wash into the shower. That's it.
We got a comment from Sherry and Bill. Now I'm hoping it's Sherry. Bill, we love you too. I don't know either one of you. Love you both. We're hoping that you're both around for a conversation because we're going to need some women's input here in a little while.
We are because, I do want to say this before we get started. It's a big day for me today. It's the 21st of May, and I'm going to hit the golf course for the first time today. It'll be my first time I've swung a golf club since August, and I'm a little nervous. Gonna hit the links. Probably going to be a cart path only day, which is not good.
Oh, that's off. Those are the.
It's the dreaded words when you pull up to a golf course. Cart path only. You're like, really?
Even a hole. I pull up to a hole that's cart path only. I'm like, hey boys, should we just skip this one?
Yeah, because at least give me the 90-degree rule. Like, stay in the cart path and drive 90 degrees straight over to your ball.
Hey, Travis, and this is the thing. You and I both, you walk a lot. I'm up for a good walk. What is it about hitting the ball on the opposite side of the fairway into the woods, and you're like, I'm never finding that 89-cent Kirkland. Never finding it.
I don't know what it is. And I'm not opposed to walking, but I'm like, if I wanted to walk this course, I would have brought the walking cart and just been mentally prepared for it. Because when you play in an outing where you see, 150 other people, you're like, oh man, I'm just going to slow the day up. It makes the day longer when you have to do cart path only, park. And maybe it's because it's a best ball, right? Because your balls are splattered all over the place. You're like, okay, we're going to stop here, then we're going to stop here, then we're going to stop here, then we're going to stop here. And you have to do it, if you're golfing with me, probably 8 different times on one hole.
The guy who's driving the golf cart, if you've got somebody that's kind of aloof, not paying attention, it's going to make for a long, long, long day.
Yeah, and that would be me.
I was back there. We drove right past my ball.
So
I'm way back there. I'm like 80 yards back.
Put it reverse.
Yeah.
Go all the way back 80 yards.
I didn't even see you.
And then you have the marshals that are like Gestapo, like, get on the golf cart path. Really? It's dry here.
Dude, where do you play?
You don't have marshals at your courses?
515-517-2303.
Yesterday, and I need to prepare people for this.
Yes, safe space is needed here before we dive into this.
Space needed. This has nothing to do with sports. This has
furthest thing from it.
Furthest thing from it. It's a little weird, but I think I have to have the conversation.
It's a little bit. What else? Tell people what box we're about to get into here. It's a little bit
pornish,
perverted.
It might make you uncomfortable. We don't mean to do that.
We genuinely want to have a real conversation about something that happened yesterday. And Travis, Yeah, so I'll let you walk into it here, friend.
So I called Ross yesterday afternoon. I was just I was on one of my breaks, and I'm scrolling through Facebook, and I'm targeted by ads, right? And it was an ad for an AI girlfriend. Now that may say a lot about my searches, but it was an ad for an AI girlfriend. Really hot AI chick speaking in a very sexually seductive voice. But then the ad took an interesting twist, and it said, I can be anything you want me to be. Do you want me to look like your ex? Do you want me to look like your colleague? And those of you who have listened to this show for a long time know that my boundaries are, I don't have many. I don't have many
My boundaries are, I don't have many.
Pretty much none. And right away, what is the first thing I do? I don't hit click on the app and download an AI girlfriend. I call Ross and go, you're not going to believe what I just watched. And then because I watched it, I got another one. And so I sent them both to Ross just to view. And he gets on this morning and goes, hey, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't watch this. I go, watch them right now. And I want your immediate thought on what you are hearing, because it kind of bothered me. In the fact that, listen, have I watched porn? Yes. Do I watch porn? Every once in a while. Okay, I'm not going to lie about it. I'm going to be honest with you. But
I just love how you started with, have I done this? Yes. But do I still do this? Yes.
So basically, I understand that I invite some of this into my searches. But what bothered me the most is when they said, can you, I can look like your ex, which I don't know why you would want that. And I don't have an ex. I've been married to my wife for 33 years. But I can look like a colleague. And I thought that, to me, was an invasion of space, privacy, a violation of who that colleague would be. I just sent it to Ross. I'm like, oh my God. I never knew I had a line that could be crossed. That crossed the line for me. And I use this equation. People say, gambling companies, DraftKings, FanDuel, all that, it's predatory, right? They just inundate your feeds like with that satisfaction of winning. You're going to be rich. You're going to have so much fun. And I'm like, these ads are preying on people that are very, very weak, are very, very lonely, very, very perverted. And I may be a little perverted. I'm not going to lie about that. But I'm like, I couldn't cross that line. And I was like, damn. But then I asked Ross, I go, I scroll this and I get the hot chick. I want to know if women, when they scroll, if it's a hot dude going, hey, baby, I'm your AI boyfriend. I can look like your ex. I can look like one of your colleagues. Do women get the actual reverse of what we get just in a male form? Now, you've seen these ads, and I want your thoughts on these because, man.
Okay, so my thoughts on the ads were the same as you. Like, holy cow, that it goes over a line, right? And it's funny because you and I talk about this a lot. We've got different lines. I'm not no angel. I fall below the bar before breakfast every morning. You and I had this conversation, and we're going to have it now. So I apologize to the females in the audience or people that are offended by this conversation. But we had that talk of like, you and I's lines are in different spots, but we both understand this to be over some sort of line. Why? I'm not. It is. I really am genuinely curious as to where that line is, what that line is. Is the line just simply pornography? Is the line just simply you shouldn't even fantasize about a colleague or an ex? And once you start down that line, is this just is this just another form of fantasizing about that? So, man, it's odd because
when it comes to fantasizing, closing your eyes in the shower and fantasizing is completely different than taking a colleague's picture, imposing it on
and creating.
AI,
It's like
there's that person.
There's almost a Frankenstein aspect of it, right? When
Yes,
it feels. Why does the effort feel weird? Putting the effort into it makes it creepy. Is that it?
Yes, the effort feels weird. Could you imagine going to work after you just spent time with your colleague in AI form? That to me is creepy. Hey, Jane.
Dude, I am completely with you that it's over a line. What I'm trying to figure out is where that line is. Why that line is. It's there. It's definitely there. Yeah, you sent these to me yesterday. My first instinct was like, I'm not even clicking on these. I don't even want Facebook to think this is something I'm interested in watching. And then this morning, you're like, watch it. Watch it just because you want to see
how far they go. Now, Charlie up here says a kid in Eastern Iowa, high school kid, just shared AI photos of classmates.
Oh, see, and that's how easy.
Yes.
Oh.
What? And somebody else on the chat said, "Hey, my buddy runs an AI girlfriend site. He's making lots of money." Wow. Now, none of the women, and we only have like 10% of the audience that is women who listen to the show, but I really do want to know if it pops up in your feed, not saying that it does, probably says more about me than it does you. Is it a dude going, "Hey, I'm AI Joe. I can be whoever you want me to be"? That's freaky.
Dude, I just don't. I don't know. I am not smart enough to know, it's going to be bad. It's going to be bad. I've listened to Elon Musk on Joe Rogan 5-7 years ago, whatever that was, say, this is going to be bad. What does that mean? I don't want to tell you. And for some reason, this whole time I've been like, it helps me with recipes. When I'm stuck in a creative jam, I can throw this problem over here and it does this thing for me real quick. Cool.
And how many times have we used the phrase on this show, unintended consequences? And this
dude,
may be an intended consequence.
I can tell you my two tipping points, the two straws that have, or the two drops of water that have went, the bucket's over going over the top here. That Caitlin Clark video of her talking, I can't even find it now. I saw this Caitlin Clark video. I knew it wasn't Caitlin Clark only because of what she was saying, not how it was being said, not how it was filmed, not the mouth was goofy like this. It wasn't doing anything like that. It looked just like Caitlin Clark, and she's like, man, Angel Reese should be thanking me. I saved her from embarrassing herself. I just knew she was going to clank a couple balls off. I'm basically, she should send me a thank you card for that. Just looking out for the girl. That's hilarious and that's scary. And then you sent me again. You sent it to me yesterday, and I just kind of was like, Trav, it is
Trav being Trav.
Trav being Trav. And it was that look this morning. You're like, hey, watch that. I didn't send that to you because I think I even said to you, which one of these did you download? And you're like, no, that ain't what this is about.
Because you were like, because Ross called me one time. He goes, hey, can you do me a favor? Can you get an OnlyFans account? Because I got a buddy that's.
I had a friend going through some stuff. Yeah, his in fact, not him, a family member was going through some stuff, and they were trying to do some sleuthing.
So I step up to the plate. I get the OnlyFans account, and
sorry, Jeanette.
No, I told her. I said, "Hey, here's what I did. I got an OnlyFans account." I was pretty transparent about it. But Ross is kind of like, "Oh, Trav's, crossing the line again. Here he goes." But I was actually generally wanted to have a conversation about this because first thing you asked me, did you click into it to see how much it costs? And I'm like, no way. Because as soon as you click, then you're inundated. Just watching it is one thing. Clicking it gives them your IP address, does all that, and then you're going to be targeted this. And the last thing I want is just to see this all the time. Now, I'm pretty good at, I don't belong to any gambling sites. OnlyFans is the only thing I'm a member of, and I don't even pay to belong to OnlyFans. Though I will admit, I'm scrolling Instagram and they're like, check my links out. Then I'll go check out their OnlyFans page just to see what their description is.
Just for research.
Yeah, but I've never paid for OnlyFans. I've never given them my credit card. I won't do that. Mike says, not to scare you guys, but with all the radio and audio content, both of you, it would be easy to create a convincing AI version of your show. Here's the deal.
Know that, Mike. Have thought of that.
Having done the research for our audio stream and putting a show together, you can actually, I'm not joking here, you can take AI input. I gave Ross a show rundown today. Right. And it was a book.
It's
not
long.
A script, but it was just basically topics. You can plug that in and create an AI radio show. I could easily do it and have other content run on this live platform. And it would be.
When we got fired in 2020, Williams and I talked about them doing this. We're like, they've got enough of our audio. That was 5 years ago. We're like, they could get an AI tool, plug our audio in, and just type in stuff. They could type in "talk Hawkeye Cyclones,"
and that's the scary part. I could have easily put together an AI radio show where most of you, when full disclosure, and my son gets so mad at me because when we come back from our breaks, it says now back to the Rush with Travis and Ross, and I forget what it says. That is an AI voice. We don't have the budget to hire voice guys. Ross talked about voice guys yesterday. They aren't cheap. You want somebody to come on and go, 95 KGGO. That costs money. We don't have the budget for that, but we do have the budget for free AI voice. And so when you hear that, when we take our first break, we come back and go, that's an AI voice. Owen's like, can we get rid of the AI voice? I go, who's going to do it? Because I'm not paying anybody to do that.
Is it something about watching that this morning or seeing that yesterday and the Caitlin Clark thing, that this was my moment of, here we are. It's gone too far. You can't decipher it from reality. Terrence McKenna. Do you know who Terrence McKenna is?
I don't.
Terrence McKenna is just a philosopher, brilliant guy. He's dead now. He had this whole thing about how things are going to get weird. Things are going to get so weird that it's not even going to be enough to talk about how weird they are. We're going to have to talk about why they're so weird. Things are going to get so weird. You're not going to know truth anymore. What does that mean? Well, we kind of touched on it the other day. When words don't have meanings anymore.
Yeah, why do I find, I'll pull up Reagan Fox on Twitter because she puts out free content. Oh, did I just say that out loud? Anyway,
and is that a porn star?
Yeah, she's yeah, she is. But at least that's her putting out her own content, and she's freely doing that of her own will, right? But if you put the AI behind it, it just freaks you out a little bit because it's not real. It's totally fantasy, but it's also preying into your weakest vulnerabilities and creating a situation that.
And Trav, because when we first started having the conversation, before the show, you said this reminds me of gambling, and my brain froze. Like, what? How does it remind you of gambling? You're like, no, man. The way that they're again. You were careful. I don't want to misstate this. You weren't like, oh, I'm vulnerable like a gambling addict. It wasn't that same thing, but look at how this is reaching out to people now. The way that the gambling thing, dude, That's actually a regret I have. I truthfully. That's a regret that I have that I bent over and took the money for gambling stuff and downloaded the apps and actually gambled money. That's not me. I didn't like it. I never liked it. But the bosses were like, "Oh, we're this is the way."
But let me be clear. I don't think that's for you personally. I don't think you're against people gambling or doing it.
No, absolutely. People can. Yeah, that's true. That maybe that's how I justified it in my head. Again, those mental gymnastics that everybody does to make sure they're on team right guy. Terrence McKenna, by the way, I saw one of the guys point out. Terrence McKenna was big into the mushrooms. Okay,
the psilocybin.
The psilocybin. He would talk about the hero's dose.
A lot of stuff happened with the hero's dose.
Yeah. Yeah. Bells from heaven.
Here the texts are coming in. The bells from heaven, as Ross likes to call it. I'm not going to call the show. I'm not going to participate in the chat of the show, but I'm going to just text Ross.
This actually, I should look because it looked like one of those is an update on my DMPD app.
They're coming to
investigating a fire.
Oh,
I didn't do
it. So yeah, that was our morning conversation, and a lot of people think I don't have a line. I have a line. And we went right up to it today. And Ross and I's conversations were weird. We were talking about showers. And it was just...
Oh, you mean about what we take into the shower?
Yeah, well, that and, what's the difference with an AI?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, again...
The difference between closing your eyes and imagining and actually creating it, right?
Yes, we were kind of having that conversation about what's different. Why does that feel... I think... Am I wrong, first of all, in that most of us, I feel like, Travis, if you and I both say, whoa, this is past a line, then I feel like I'm safe in saying most guys are going to say, nah, this one's wrong. This is too far.
I hope most guys say that. 515.
Yeah.
517-2303. We do have a busy day. We're going to move on from this, but we just wanted to share. We wanted to be open with you to tell you kind of what our day's like. And
I have one weird rabbit hole, but it's about sports and your Pope.
Oh, and my Pope,
the Pope. I shouldn't say your Pope like this.
Yeah, I was going to say he does represent like 1.6 billion Catholics across the world.
Yeah,
so
and it didn't mean that as a snide. I didn't mean the way that came out.
Also at 7:30, Greg Edwards is scheduled to come on with us. So for those of you who don't know who Greg Edwards is, he may be in the last 25 years one of the biggest movers and shakers in Central Iowa. He ran Catch Des Moines, and the reason Greg's coming on is because he's retiring this summer, and he is responsible for bringing some of the most major sporting events to Central Iowa. And before he gets out of here and rides off into the sunset and moves to Florida or Arizona or whatever he's going to do, just talk to him about the difference he's made in Central Iowa, specifically Des Moines. It is the Rush Radio Show, powered by our good friends at Willis Automotive.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
Hey everybody, Mason Miller, sales manager out here at Mini of Des Moines. We got some great things going on this month. Right now you can lease a brand new Countryman for as low as $369 a month for 39 months. Also, we're running a 3.99% at up to 60 on all models, excluding the convertible. Also, you can lease a new two-door hardtop as low as $299 a month lease. If you have any other questions, come visit your favorite motoring advisor or visit us online at miniofdesmoines.com.
Largest selection of German beer in the world? You'll find it at the Hessen House. From Doppelbocks to Oktoberfest to Hefeweizens and Dunkels, there's no passport needed for the deliciously different beer and food at the Hessen House. So grab your friends and make it a fun night out. The Hessen House, 4th and Court, Des Moines.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know, high quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig, Plantation Rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquor is home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
That was an AI voice. Sounds good to me.
It does. I think you can tell. I mean, but that's how good it's getting.
Yes, and it's only going to get better. You remember when Sirius, like, you know, we're streaming online. We're no different really than Sirius XF or Sirius FM, right? Because I mean, we're just out there in the stratosphere.
Sirius XM, sort of.
Or XM, whatever it is. But you remember when they first started, it was, you could tell it was like over an IP type of thing, right? They had that little bit of tinty max headroom to it.
Digitization.
Yeah. I listen to the replay of the show on our app every single day, and I'm like, this sounds no different than when we were on KXNO. It's like, okay, I can't tell the difference. I mean, the technology has gotten that much better. Hell, you remember in the old days, Ross, owning a microphone like this, that was a huge investment. I don't know how many people own this microphone now. I mean, these are studio mics that we had at the radio station.
I have this really, really, really cool microphone. Okay, it is like an old 20 years ago. This thing was $1,000, right?
Yep,
sounds just like this.
Yeah, I mean, technology is just getting that much better for the prosumer or the consumer. If you are a Cyclone fan, don't forget the Cyclone Tailgate Tour carries on today. The stops are going to be in Waterloo and Clear Lake. So if you want to go see the Cyclones and hang out with all the coaches and Jamie Pollard and John Walters, Waterloo and Clear Lake today. They had some cool content on social media yesterday, Ross. They did with the coaches, the grip challenge. Have you seen that thing where you squeeze?
Yeah, I've been at golf tournaments where they have people do that. Like, you know, you walk up to the 7th tee box and they have everybody doing it.
Guess who had the strongest grip of all the Cyclone coaches?
TJ Otzelberger?
Wasn't even close.
Huh. Wow.
Yes.
Color me surprised.
He was like at 130. But guess who had the second strongest grip? This one surprised me.
Kennelly.
Yes.
I see that.
Yeah, but he beat Dresser. He beat Matt Campbell. I mean,
see, my second guess was going to be Dresser, and then you said this one surprised me. And again, I hope Bill's listening to this right now, and he's like, "I surprised you."
Well,
but
I put the age factor in there, right?
Yeah, but man, he's stout.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's compact.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is more so than maybe just because I'm long and lanky. I've always been like, well, in order to be strong, that's what strong guys look like. Dresser would have been my second guess.
I think Dresser is actually less than like John Walters. Dresser and John Walters were about the same. But before he did it, Dresser was like, I got small hands. And I'm like, does that affect your grip? I
Listen,
don't know.
And here's the thing: grip strength, yes, sure. Kevin Dresser can look every one of them in the eye and go,
Want to
"You want
go?
to roll? You want to roll? Oh, you got a good grip strength, do you? You want to test it? You want my wrist or my ankle? Which do you want?"
And I'll start on bottom. I'll start on bottom.
You can grab on as strong as you want there, tough guy. Tell me when.
Again, Cyclone Tailgate Tour, Waterloo and Clear Lake. One of our buddy AJ will be going up to see the Cyclones today.
That brought back so many memories. My buddy Scott, who is a wrestling coach, his dad was a wrestling coach. Scott wrestled in state, wrestled at college. That's Scott. You're like, I think I'm tough. He'll like hold a leg up. You want this one or the other one? You want this arm? Do you hear about this? I'll start like this. Okay. You do whatever you do whatever move you want to do, and you say go. And 9 seconds later, your nose is in the carpet. You're like, damn. Grip strength, but grip strength. But did you see?
See, if we're gonna do grip strength on the Cyclone bus, I think today they should do like arm wrestling. Okay, it's TJ against
that's good.
Dresser. It's TJ against Fenley.
No, but see, again, you're in TJ's wheelhouse here too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
And Walters, you said Walters grip strength, and the image of John popped up. Walters is put together too.
Yeah.
Pretty athletic crew, actually, now that you think about it.
Weird content like that. Like I'm like, I saw the grip tester. I'm like, I'm gonna watch this. I want to see who's got the strongest grip. This intrigues me. I'm going to see him on Friday over in Council Bluffs as the Cyclone Tour comes through the western half of the state. So I'm going to give John a hard time about his grip, saying, "Come on, man, you couldn't get up to TJ's strength of 130. You were at 92, man."
You know what John's going to say to you? "Oh, I brought it with me, Trav. Here, I want you to try it.
Yeah,
we'll see how you do." Trav,
or he'll just go
43.
I'm on the bus.
Oh, yeah.
I'm on the bus. You're not. I'm on the bus.
That's true.
That's fair. Fair, touche. What's the rabbit hole you want to go down with the Pope? He's a Sox fan. He's a Bears fan.
Have you ever been to the White Sox Stadium?
No, because I'm too scared to go on the south side.
I was there one time to watch the Yankees play. It was the most ironic promotion I've ever been a part of. It was poncho night, and there was a 2-hour rain delay.
Well, that's good. You probably got a free poncho going to the stadium, right?
Free poncho when you walked in. It was a beautiful night, and then the rain came, and everybody threw their poncho on, and it was a party, and it was so much fun. But in that night, with that rain delay, I got to experience the stadium. I got to truly walk around and see the entire stadium. And they do something pretty neat up on one of the concourses at the White Sox Stadium, where you know how as you walk between the hallways, the corridors that lead out to the stadium, sometimes there's a concession stand between those. Sometimes there's a bathroom, but sometimes it's just a brick wall. So what the White Sox did with each one of those big facades, big walls, they created a mural for either a decade or a player in their Hall of Fame or a historic event that happened. Does that make sense?
So they use the space.
They use the space. It's really cool. And it's this walk through history. As you walk around, you see this thing about the Black Sox, and you see this thing about Shoeless Joe and Harold Baines and all the neat stuff that's happened, and Jack McDowell. And they've added to that. They've put up a picture of the Pope's visit.
In the 2005 World Series?
Yeah.
Have you seen that video?
Is this stolen valor? I guess is this Catholic stolen valor? He was not. He was a white. Everybody knows. I think he's a Chicago guy. Grew up in Chicago. Was a White Sox fan. Went to the 2000 what was it
4 or 5? It was
whatever it was.
2004, 2005. What amazed me by that? I don't know if you ever saw that video floating around. Somebody had to go through and watch all those games and find it.
No, hold on. Or here's what probably happened there. When you are at a World Series game, you go back and watch it. or your
True.
family is watching it. So when he popped up on the screen back in 2004, his family is like, oh my gosh, you were on the broadcast. Maybe even recorded it, right?
On
So
VHS.
So that's probably been a story that he's shared with people dozens of times. It's a story that his family would have known. It's not like somebody scoured through hours of White Sox games searching for it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Where he would have, people would have known. It would have been like, I mean, again, it didn't come out right away. It would have taken a couple days, weeks for somebody to be like, oh yeah, by the way, we can prove he was a White Sox fan because he was actually at a World Series game. No way. And then this happened. So the White Sox have taken that still image from that video of him at the game. That is now a mural with a collage, I should say, with a picture of him as the Pope.
Oh, hold on. As the Pope? So it's not just him with hair, because I haven't seen it yet. So did they put him in as like Pope vestments?
I'm going to see if I can, and I apologize that this, I don't have the ability to be able to just get this for you on your screen, but that's the mural. Can you see that, Travis?
Yeah, I can see that.
It is a picture of him as the Pope. He's waving. I mean, like his presentation.
Yeah.
And in the background is the photo from the video. And then it's got the Pope Leo jersey next to it. And that is, if you look at it closely, you can actually see the bricks and how they've kind of painted it onto the wall. So there they go. White Sox, the Pope's visit.
Is it stolen valor? I wouldn't say that. But they need something to market right now.
Jason Boffman writes, White Sox fans will take anything they can get right now. That's true. Good point, Jason. Hey, folks, come to the stadium and see the new mural presentation. Get your picture with the Pope.
If the White Sox ever get good enough in the next 10 years, let's say the Pope's, does the Pope come back and go to the World Series?
No.
Probably not. I would agree. When he went to the World Series before, he was just priest Robert Prevost. Now he's the Pope. I will say, though, watching the Pope, you can tell he's an American because Americans have different mannerisms. Even though he's very proper, I see it's the way he shakes hands. It's the way he hugs. Like when people, he hugged his brothers and stuff. I mean, it's very, very American, right? And I'm like, oh, those are just American mannerisms that.
So, dude, I think I've said this several times when I was in Europe. I was like, I'm really blending in. And somebody would call me out of the crowd.
You're an American.
Other people in the community would be like, Ross, you look like a native. I'm leaning against the wall. I'm all relaxed. I'm okay. And people would be like, hey, American. How did you know? They're like, because of the way you are.
And when you're from Chicago, there's a certain mannerism about Chicagoans.
Yeah, we can tell by the way you blinked that you're an American. Oh, sorry.
What's amazing about the Pope is that he speaks Latin. You listen to speak Italian and Spanish, and you're like, man, you think he's native. Then he goes right into the Chicago accent. You're like, wow, you got it down.
All right, you had a whole show planned. I've wasted 43 minutes, and I apologize.
I don't want to ignore the people that are talking because you did get the ding, 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 the investigation of the fire. Apparently, it was out at Easter Lake, and 3 people died last night in that fire.
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So that's tragic.
Oh, I did not see that happening in the chat over there. Oh, my gosh. I'm so sorry we didn't stop and... Dude.
Deadly house fire. Just awful news. 3 people reported dead. So that
one person's in the hospital.
Yeah.
Oh man, a house fire in the middle of the night. Oh no, it's in the so it's in the 3 Lakes neighborhood because that my buddy Frank, I helped Frank sell his house and move to a new one. Oh no, dude! We have a listener that lives over there, Peter.
Really?
Yeah.
Don't mean to bring the show down, but
No.
I don't want to ignore that because it did come up. 515-517-2303. Let's go to Scott. Scott, welcome to the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. What's going on, Scott?
Good morning, fellas. Good morning, Travis, Ross.
What's up, Scott?
Hey, first of all, I want to thank you guys for being on the air. My wife and I was listening to the old show, and some rap music came on. I shut it off. I told her, I said, I'm done. Not listening to it again. 2 days later, we found you guys.
Well, that's good. No, and we've been here since January 27th. Remember the day vividly. But so now we're easy to find, and hopefully you find us every day after that.
Yeah, you bet, Trav. And we'll be down at, I'm with the Nile Kinnick Eye Club. We'll be down at Rocco's Pizza for the tournament. Swing in if you can, Travis.
So are you going to be there tonight? They play at 6 o'clock tonight. I've got an event I have to be at, but I'm going to try to get there this weekend sometime. So you're at Rocco's, which for those of you who are going to make the trip over to Omaha for the Big Ten baseball tournament, and Iowa plays tonight at 6, and they play again on Friday. Rocco's Pizza is literally right across the street from the stadium. You can walk out the doors of Rocco Pizza, right up the stairs into the outfield at Charles Schwab Field. Great location to have the Nile Kinnick. I mean, that's great for the Nile Kinnick Club to be able to have that location because that's primo. That's primo, Scott.
Yeah, it is. We'll be there for the whole tournament, and hope to see a lot of people swing by. They usually do.
Hey, Scott, do me a favor. Send me an email, travis@therushladio.com, and let me know what time you're going to be there on Friday, and if they get into the weekend, maybe the weekend too.
Yeah, I sure will. We usually set up a couple hours before the game, and then we're there after the game. So we'll be around.
Excellent.
Thanks a lot, Scott. Appreciate it.
All right. You bet. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
6 o'clock tonight. 6 o'clock tonight's the game.
Is the game tonight.
Okay,
They'll be at Rocco's probably at 4 o'clock, he said, and then they play again on Friday. And that was smart to give Iowa the night game, much like Nebraska got the night game last night because they're going to bring the most fans.
Yeah.
Iowa's going to bring a lot. People may not know this. The Western Omaha is like the second largest iClub group outside of you take Iowa City out of the it goes like Chicago's number one, and Omaha's number two.
And I apologize. I missed when Scott. Did he say which eye club is? Did he say
He's
Lincoln eye club?
So the Omaha Council Bluffs is called the Nile Kinnick eye club.
Nile Kinnick. Okay. I don't know where my brain came up with Lincoln.
You may not know this, but Nile Kinnick has a stadium named after him because Nile Kinnick grew up a little bit in Omaha. So I believe he went to Benson, which is just a stone's throw from my house.
I knew that because of the documentary. Doesn't Sipker's documentary mention that?
I believe so. Yeah.
Or maybe during that time you told me that, or I heard you kind of talk to him about that. I remember this. Okay.
Yeah. So it's the Nile Kinnick Eye Club. Again, 6 o'clock tonight. Now they're going to play Rutgers. Rutgers last night beat Indiana 5-2. And if you go back and listen to our interview yesterday with Coach Heller, just talks about this. So Rutgers was should I say higher seed or lower seed? They were, what is it? Indiana was higher.
Whatever.
Than them.
I know what you mean. Yeah.
But he was talking about those tiebreakers and what that does to your pitching matchup. So it'd be interesting to see who he throws tonight because Rutgers is the higher seed or lower seed.
The better seed.
No, the worst seed.
Yeah. The better.
Indiana was the better seed.
Yeah. The better seed is the high. It's like golf.
Confusing.
It's like golf. You want the lower number is the better high.
Stop confusing yourself. Stop confusing. Just stop it. Now you've got me all up and confused. Other games from yesterday: Illinois beat Michigan 6-5. That was a 10 inning game, and then Nebraska rallied last night to beat Michigan State 5-4. Michigan State's just going to be. In the ninth inning, Ross had a fielding error, gave up an unearned run that tied the game in the ninth, and then Nebraska won it in the 10th.
Oh.
So, if you're going to lose, you want to lose by maybe giving up a home run, giving up a hit, something legitimate, an error.
My heart breaks for that because that person, that guy, is going to remember that play last night forever.
Yeah.
He's going to be 40 years old laying in bed, and that whatever that play was, I don't even know what happened.
I checked the box score this morning. I didn't see it, but it was an error that went in on it.
Bill Buckner.
Do you think this is that you're going to give? I know people don't care about the West Coast teams, and they're like, "Well, this is what they asked for." First game today at 10 a.m. is Illinois and UCLA. You have UCLA, which is essentially 8 a.m. for those guys. I mean, you had a 2 o'clock slot. You want Iowa in the 6 o'clock slot because that's going to allow more fans to get there and you're going to put more people in the stadium. But put UCLA at 10 a.m. Ugh. Brutal. Probably got there yesterday, get adapted to the time, and then, you're the first. You got to be at the ballpark, 8 o'clock in the morning, which is 6 o'clock, their body clock? Or is it to the point where you've been playing baseball so damn long? When you were a kid playing U-Trip, you were playing early in the morning.
Somebody's got to do it. And the travel thing, I do want to become more sympathetic for it, I guess is the right word. I understand that it's a struggle. Like when we talk to Coach Heller and you see one time and it affects them the way they do, it's something that deserves some consideration. It does. It deserves some consideration. But somebody's going to have to play. Like if we're going to do this thing, which I think is a lot of this is stupid anyway. Let's get all the teams to Omaha. Why can't we get some of this out of the way? Why do two teams from California have to come to Omaha to play each other? Well, because of tournament. All right, well, then somebody's going to have to play at 8 a.m. your time. Now, or should we take the East Coast teams because remember, we're flying in teams from all over the world to play in this thing, right? So maybe we should make the East Coast teams play because it's 6 a.m. in their world. Or no, whatever.
No,
it'd be later.
You're an hour behind.
Yeah, hour behind. It'd be 11 a.m. But we can't make them play the afternoon games or the night games because God forbid they play at 6 o'clock. Damn, that's 8 o'clock for them. Them boys are damn near asleep. Those college kids. 8 p.m. at night.
Yeah,
you expect these 19-year-olds to just rebound and get up in the morning and play baseball? I don't like. It's a lot of it's stupid. Am I wrong? A lot of this is stupid.
And I have to. And maybe it's just manufactured argument in the fact that we're talking about 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old men who playing baseball at 8 a.m. or 10 a.m. Does it really matter? They've been doing it since they were kids, right?
Travis, we're talking about baseball on a Thursday. We're talking about college baseball. They aren't pros. How many kids out there are making money playing this game? One,
maybe two,
right? In the whole tournament. And now all of a sudden it's like, well, wait a minute. We got to start thinking about these kids. That's why it's funny. You do all of this stuff. We get to all of this point, and then all of a sudden the start time comes out, and somebody goes, they're not thinking about the children.
It's one of those reality checks where you have to stop and go, okay, we're manufacturing conversation here, but what are we really talking about? We're talking about Illinois and UCLA baseball.
See, in Illinois, in my head, I had it as two West Coast teams. We're talking about two teams playing baseball on a Thursday morning. You know what's going to happen Saturday all over Central Iowa? All over Central Iowa. You know what's going to happen Saturday morning at 8 a.m.?
Farmers market.
Baseball,
and
brother.
Playing baseball.
8-year-olds. 8-year-olds will be out there, and they don't give a crap if they're from Nebraska, Missouri. You be from California if you want. Welcome to Des Moines. Thanks for giving us the checks. The cages open at 8.
And they're going to be in the pool by 11:30 at the hotel, and then back for another game at 4.
So we're and those people are 8-year-olds will be doing that Saturday morning. But here we are. Hey, guys, Thursday at that real big stadium with those real nice locker rooms with all those comfy hotels attached to it. Do you think that these 19 to 23-year-olds can get up and go?
And Greg Edwards is going to be on with us at 7:30. He knows, and these athletes are treated like royalty. When you come in, you're treated like royalty.
I can't wait to have this conversation with him. And by the way, I did get a response to that text message that I forgot to send last night.
Yeah. So Ross was trying to, just find some good information about Greg. Text our buddy Chris Conley and says,
Man, you don't have to give all the secrets away. I didn't want to say.
No, I have to because I bet Chris is listening this morning. And Ross like, can you believe Conley? Is he mad at me? He didn't even respond to a text that I sent him. I go, what's up with that?
I didn't say it with that tone. Stop.
No, that's the way I heard it.
I was more like, man, I wonder if Chris. I sent Chris Conley a text last night. I was trying to get some info, stuff I want to be able to make sure I share about stuff. And he never responded back. And I'm hitting my phone, and my little text to Chris had that red circle next to it, not delivered. I'm like, oh, it never went.
Like he's not getting back to me. He's ghosting me. Can you believe Chris Conley's ghosting me? Kirk does remind me, Travis, 8-year-olds can't swim between games. No fun. Oh, because the coaches and parents like, you got to save your strength. No swimming until baseball's over.
TJ just wrote in and said, my kid has a soccer game in Kansas on Saturday at 7 a.m.
Oh.
And here's the thing. And here's what he writes this. And there's so much truth to this. The final thing he says is, they don't care and neither do I. And that's the truth. When you know this, dude, when your kid is doing it and your kid is excited about it and it's fun, make it at 4 a.m. I get to get up and go watch baseball. When did you say I get to? Audrey and I have this little umbrella, the sport umbrella thing. We got a little camping stuff. Like we go and we hang out. She plays on with some stuff. Yeah, you bet. Have fun.
7 a.m. is pretty early. That's pretty early. And for soccer.
Do you remember the movie Vision Quest?
Oh yeah, Matthew Modine.
Yeah. Remember when he's getting ready to wrestle? His name's Loudon. He's getting ready to wrestle. Who's the kid that he wrestles at the end? I can't think of his name. It's right there. It's right there. Come on. Anyway, his dude from work is going to come watch him wrestle. And on the way to the match, he stops by to remind his buddy that he's wrestling that night. And his friend is putting on a suit. And he's like, "Oh man, what do you got, a date tonight?" And he's like, "No, man, I'm coming to watch you wrestle." He's like, "Coming to watch you wrestle? It's 6 lousy minutes." And the guy says, "You ever heard of Pele? The soccer player." He said, "Man, a couple years ago, I'm sitting here watching TV in this little apartment, and I'm watching this game. I'm watching this guy run around. It's Mexican TV. I can't understand a word. This guy flies into the air, and he flips around, and he kicks this ball. And the whole stadium goes crazy. And the energy from this guy overcomes him. And as he's running around celebrating, he rips his shirt off and he's spinning it around over his head. And everybody's excited. And I'm sitting here in this apartment crying, thinking to myself, man, if a human being, a species that I'm a part of, just did something that lifted all of these people out of their sorry little lives for a moment. He goes, it's not the 6 minutes, man. It's what happens in those 6 minutes.
That's fair. And he's not wrong, right?
Yeah.
What happens in those 6 minutes?
You're getting up at 7 a.m. You're going to take your kid to soccer at 7 a.m.? No, you don't know what happens at 7 a.m. That's a great line. Ross, why do you get up so early? Man, if you were going where I'm headed, you'd get up early too.
515-517-2303. We got an hour in the books. We got an hour to go. It is the Rush Radio Show powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
It's allergy season. Your car needs to breathe just like you. Here at Willis Nissan, come on in and we'll swap out those cabin and engine air filters for $15 off. Give us a call or schedule online at willisnissan.com.
Missing a quality home-cooked meal? You know, the kind Mom used to make? Lucky for you, we found her recipe book. Welcome to the High Life. Welcome to the Champagne of Bars.
Looking for the perfect golf escape? Experience links-style golf right here in Ames at Coldwater Golf Links. With rolling fairways, large greens, and unique routing, it's golf the way it's meant to be played. Whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, you'll love our course's welcoming atmosphere and friendly staff. Grab your clubs, book a tee time, and make every round unforgettable. Coldwater Golf Links, where great golf leads to great memories. Visit coldwatergolf.com to book your round today.
Summer's on its way, and that means road trips, travel, and summer activities. Come in now and get your maintenance done, like air conditioning, alignment, and fluid services, to make sure your Volvo is ready for everything the summer can throw at it. That way you can just sit back and enjoy the season. Schedule service online at willisvolvocars.com or give us a call today.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hour number 2 of the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive. Happy Wednesday to you. It is the 21st of May. If you're listening on the audio stream at therushladio.com, thank you so much. If you're listening on the Rush Radio app on your Android device, again, thank you for tuning us in, putting us in your car, on your speaker. If you're watching on YouTube, give this channel a subscription, give the video a like, start leaving your comments in the comment section, and, of course, follow us on X, Facebook, and Instagram. My name is Travis Justice. He is Ross Peterson. We're here till 8 o'clock today. Greg Edwards. Well, I don't know where Peter. I know like three Greg Petersons. Greg Edwards from Catch Des Moines going to be joining us right around 7:30. He's on the final legs, man. He's not dying off, but he's going to retire. If you were to look at Greg, he's 69 years old. Does that surprise you? He doesn't look 69.
No, he doesn't.
Act 69.
Man, it's Travis. Doesn't it feel like? No, there's no way Greg Edwards is almost 70.
Yeah.
Are you sure about that?
I'm positive about it. According to the Des Moines Business Record, and read a story about him today, he's like 69. I'm like, damn.
That doesn't even seem. I'm not stroking ego here. That doesn't seem possible because, first of all, he doesn't look like it. He doesn't act like it. Man, boy, he's always looked really good for his age then.
Yeah,
wow.
Age is just a number. It's just a number.
And age, by the way, Travis, it's so weird, man. It's that Wilford Brimley thing. Like, 50 doesn't look like it used to look like. When we were kids, and I mean for a generation.
No, but what I mean is, you know, I went to you go to your class reunion. I still think I look. I know I've aged, but I'm like, okay, I look pretty good for there's people who I graduated with. I'm like, man, you've aged.
Yes.
But it's also your lifestyle.
If you took people in 1960 that were at their 40-year class reunion, they looked totally different.
Yes. Grandma.
Right. So hard weathered life.
So Greg Edwards coming up at 7:30. Ross, Caitlin Clark, Indiana Fever lost last night. They lost at home, 91-90 to Atlanta. They rallied in the fourth quarter, had a good fourth quarter against the Dream. Caitlin Clark hit some bombs. She had 27 points, 11 assists. Continues to move up the WNBA record book. But I think a lot of people, after they beat Chicago so badly, were like, "Oh, this team's anointed to be in the WNBA championship. This team is going to be rock solid." Offensively, they're incredible. You're putting up 90 points. That's a lot. But Stephanie White, who's the head coach of the Fever, said, I coached against this team last year when I was with Connecticut. I knew how to beat them, and that was to be as physical as I could be. And because as good as they are offensively, maybe not prepared for the physicalness that comes at them. Don't want to call them soft, but she says, if I'm coaching against this team, which I did, I would get physical. Kind of reminds me of the NBA days. Remember when the Bulls were really good, but couldn't beat Detroit because Detroit was
the Jordan rules, because they just beat him up.
They just beat him up.
Yeah, I mean, you look at it now, it was just, what do we do if we can't stop Michael? Foul him. Every time he comes near the basket, foul him and foul him hard enough. And then there's that Ronnie Lott thing, like foul him hard enough that he doesn't want to come back.
So, I mean, they weren't to that point last night, but the physicalness played a difference. Indiana loses at home. Here's the weird thing about the WNBA schedule. They played the Dream last night. They're going to turn around and play them again tomorrow in Atlanta, so they'll get a chance to bounce back from that. But Caitlin Clark with she passes Sabrina Ionescu with the most double-doubles of 25 points and 10 assists, and now it's tied for the WNBA record of most double-doubles with 20 points and 10 assists or more. I mean, we're talking in just, 44 games? That's pretty impressive. So Caitlin Clark well on her way to rewriting the record book, should we say, of the WNBA. Shouldn't be surprised. And the numbers came back for the Chicago game. 2.7 million people watched the Chicago-Indiana game on ABC on Sunday, or was it Saturday or Sunday? The most regular season watch game since 2000. So the TV numbers don't lie. The Caitlin Clark effect is real. People tune in to watch Caitlin Clark. Lost last night, but be in action again tomorrow against the Dream. Some other news that came out yesterday was the NFL unanimously approves. You're just shaking your head.
Blown away.
Unanimously. All 32 teams. Owners raised their hand and said, you betcha. Our players can play in the 2028 Olympics and play flag football.
A maximum of one player per each team will be allowed to participate. Each club will have a designated international player that will also be permitted to play for their country. This was one I'm like, absolutely not. The players won't want this. The union won't want this. The agents won't want this. There's no way the owners are going to want this. This is an absolute you said unanimous?
It was unanimous.
You said 32-0.
32-0.
They came back and everybody said, this is a great idea.
Roger Goodell said, well, Roger Goodell has a bigger play here.
Okay.
Roger Goodell's bigger play is this. We can go over and play in London all we want. But what is a better way to expand football to the masses?
When Michael Jordan played in the NBA, there were like 8 international players. Is that because there were only 8 dudes? Is that because, how do I want to say this? Is that because the NBA didn't want international players? No, it's because there were only 8 guys good enough. There were 8 guys good enough to play in the NBA that played around the world. Now that number's like 7 times that, or I don't even know what it is. It's ridiculous. It's several times that number.
Like one year at the draft, it was like like half the draft was international players. Like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? Who is this guy? Don't know anything about him.
That all goes back to 1992, the Dream Team. That's when it started. That's when the explosion of international talent, international basketball happened. Again, as we like to remind you, you could find a podcast on iHeartRadio about Filipino basketball. Oh, you didn't listen either? Oh, okay. Basketball had been around for a long time, but this is that you got to have something that lights the fire. You nailed it, Travis. That as soon as I saw it, I'm like, that. I was just arguing with Eli's buddies the other day because I'm always trying to convince them that Michael Jordan actually wasn't awful at basketball, and that guys like Larry Bird were pretty good, which is a hard conversation with the youth of today. And part of their argument is Michael Jordan didn't play against anybody around the world. He's kind of like the Babe Ruth. Babe Ruth didn't play against black guys. How can you say he was great? Well, the only reason that LeBron plays against so much international competition is because of Michael Jordan. You had to get the best player in the world on an international stage to show people, whoa, this is really cool. Is it going to help football if Patrick Mahomes is out throwing darts to Tyreek Hill?
It may.
It probably will.
Yeah.
You're going to have kids in other countries look at that and go, I want to be that.
Because the only way you don't want to add anymore. I mean, 32 is actually the ideal in the United States. But if you want to expand internationally, and you just can't think Western Europe, you're going to go, how can we expose more people to this game? Well, it's not the way we thought, but it's going to be flag football through an international competition known as the
Travis,
Olympics.
You do not have to have a team in another country. The NBA didn't have to put a team in China. They had to bring Yao Ming to America. You don't have to have it. Major League Baseball doesn't have to have a team in the Dominican Republic. They can bring the best players here. And that's what the NFL would like to do. You guys in your own countries build your own leagues. Foster this talent. Get it right. Japan, baseball. Get Shohei Ohtani ready to go. When he's primed and ready to play in the big leagues, come on over. But and Major League Baseball will then grow its brand with that. This is a brilliant move.
Now back to your thing where the players they even said this. They got to work out the details. What does the insurance policy look like? What does the scheduling look like? Because you're talking about training camp, preseason games during this time when the Olympics are going on. So how do you balance, a player playing in the Olympics? But I also look at it this, why players may want it. There is something, Ross. The Olympics to me are not the same as they were in 1984, 1980, 1988. But there is still something about the possibility of winning a gold medal that's pretty cool, right? And I'm sure as an athlete, you're like, man, I can win an Olympic gold medal.
And Travis, it's a roster of 10. So we're not talking. We probably aren't. I don't know. Maybe we will get Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill. It's kind of like, look at what we get with the World Baseball Classic. Aaron Judge is going to play. Oh, that's awesome. He's going to be the captain of the team. Who else is on the team? Like 4 dudes you've heard of.
They play AA and AAA. Okay, so this
Right.
this is the futures game in a way. Now, some of the players that talked yesterday pumped the brakes a little bit, and they said, "Listen, there are people out there that specialize in flag football, and it takes a completely different skill set." They were more or less saying, "If you think we're automatically going to make the team, don't be surprised because you need elusiveness, you need speed." I'm not saying you. What I'm saying is your whole roster of 10 may not be NFL guys. They would be foolish not to.
That's interesting. Because my knee-jerk reaction to that is they better be. If some dude that's playing flag football has some skill set that puts him in the top 10, then that dude deserves to be on one of the 32 rosters. That guy deserves a jersey, not a flag. He's got right.
You're talking contact. You're talking.
That's
you're
true.
Talking
That's true. It's It's a completely different thing once you bring the getting punched in the face thing. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
If you know all they're going to do is pull my flag, I can do that. You want me to take a hit? Not built for that.
So, dude, because remember, I don't think you do remember this. When we very first got started, I remember reading this story about a dude that had led his team to the National Flag Football Championship, and he was talking trash. He was saying, if they make this an Olympic sport, I am the best quarterback in the world. And I laughed at that. Like, dude, come on, man. You're still throwing a football, and if you were really good at that, if you're great at that, if you were elite, Olympic level, I don't know.
But again, we're 3 years away. All the details haven't been worked out. And just because you've been given permission, there will be NFL guys who go, I'm not playing in that because I'm not going to risk my real job to go play flag football when I'm making millions over here.
Here's what I just had a funny thought in my head. Do you realize in a couple years, Olympic flag football is going to be on TV and there's going to be officials and they're going to take it seriously? You know how funny that's going to be? See some dude out there with stripes.
Offsides. Flag. Here.
We're going to award. We're going to have an Olympic medal ceremony for flag football, Travis. We're going to have a group of people.
Come on up. Come on up. Here we go.
This is my lifelong dream. When I was a little boy, I laid in bed. I dreamed about the national anthem playing with this gold medal around my...
Now, it may be for some because a lot of
be
receivers and running backs were track and field guys who watch that.
And they should. They should. They should be proud of it. And they will win a gold medal at the actual Olympics for flag football. And there will be real emotion, a lifelong of hard work and dreams culminating here on the Olympic podium. We'll zoom in now as the stars and stripes are risen behind you can see the emotion pouring off the team. All 10 members of the flag football team and their 14-member coaching staff.
But you know what, Ross? You know what flag football will be? Probably one of the most viewed sports of the Olympic coverage.
Probably.
It'll go men's basketball, women's basketball, flag football.
Yeah, be dudes up there hugging and crying, waving at their wives and moms. I did it. We're the best flag football team in the world, Mom.
With your gold medal, here's a Capri Sun and Oreos.
What did Grandpa win his gold medal for? Well,
let me tell you, he was part of the first American flag football team.
Have you ever played flag football out in the yard? Yeah. That. Huh?
But there are other sports that are part of the Olympics. You kind of go, huh? But unanimous. Ethan Kirkwood is 21 years old. Do you know who Ethan Kirkwood is?
Don't know that name.
He is going to be charged with providing alcohol to a minor. He provided the alcohol to the kid at PNC Park who fell over the wall.
Oh, no. First of all, that kid was underage. I didn't even know this.
He was 20 years old. He is admitted to buying him alcohol, and they have it on videotape of him walking up to the kiosk, buying a 24-ounce Miller Lite, went back again, got him another 24-ounce Miller Lite. Now, the people who were with him say, yes, we bought the alcohol, or reportedly have said this, but said he only had 2 beers. Now, that's 48 ounces of beer. That's a lot.
For a 20-year, yeah.
Trust me, I can hold alcohol better at 20 than I can now.
That's a good point. That's I mean, okay, that's fair, but that's oh man,
I know.
This is what's man. I don't know who to blame here. I want to blame the Pirates for being litigious, our society for being litigious. I want to blame the Pirates for shifting the blame here, but again, really the blame goes back to the people that are suing.
Yeah.
It's the responsibility goes back on the 20-year-old adult who made the decision to drink 2 beers and jump over a railing. We all saw the video. He didn't get pushed. He didn't trip. He jumped over the railing
and cartwheeled, and it went badly. And I feel sorry for him because he's on a long road to recovery.
I feel bad for him. I really do. Who's responsible for it? The stadium has if it's the Pirates' fault, then you know what the Pirates' response is? Okay, we're going to have to put up fences so big that nobody can get over them. Welcome to the front row. Here's chain link in your face. So the Pirates then have to say, all right, we got to cover our ass so that we don't end up paying this guy millions of dollars.
Which I don't blame him, right?
No, you can't. Again, I don't want to blame him. This is why I say my brain bounces around for the blame train. They go and look at the video, find all that stuff, and go, all right, man, here's his buddy buying beers illegally.
They said he did not drink before the game, and the only alcohol that he had was at the game. But again, he wasn't old enough to drink. Somebody bought it for him. Guy admitted it.
It's still his choice. This is where we've gone too far. We've gone too far. There's a personal responsibility. You've got a personal freedom, and then you have to deal with those choices that you've made. You're 20 years old. Nobody forced you to go to the Pirates game, sit in the front row, drink a couple of beers. Nobody forced you over that railing. You made some really bad decisions.
But I mean, let's reverse this. I mean, if somebody buys minors alcohol at a convenience store, gives it to them, I mean, you should get in trouble for that.
Again, this is why we need discretion and stuff. It's that lost word I bring up a lot. We have no discretion. This situation, this is a young man who nobody forced that. I don't feel like the responsibility falls on the friend who's 21, who went to a game with his 20-year-old buddy, who I don't even know. We have all been in that situation. We've all been in that situation. You've turned 21. Your friend that you've known your whole life is a few months behind you.
And this might just be one of those, just going off what your litigious argument is, and you're not wrong, but I would believe this would probably be a misdemeanor. But you put this in action for maybe a future lawsuit that's coming the other way, saying, hey, the Pirates are really just trying to make sure that they protect themselves.
That's true. That's this. You're nailing that part of it.
Yes,
definitely.
As the Reverend points out, those unintended consequences.
Always, man.
Nobody thinks when hey, I'm going to give my buddy a beer, that he's going to jump over the wall and do a cartwheel and fall on his neck. Again, feel totally sorry for the guy.
And Chris Shipley writes in and says, that's that sticky age gap. Kid 20, according to the state, is an adult at 18. That's a big difference between buying a 15-year-old. Like, this to me is not the same as buying the Jell-O shots for the kindergartners. Right?
She didn't mean to.
Again, this is that. Wait, there's an app where you can download a picture and do this? Wait a minute. We crossed the line somewhere.
Ross, LeBron James is getting a degree, an honorary doctorate at Ohio State, a doctorate in public service. I think Grandview should give you an honorary doctorate. I really do.
Wow. Well, I appreciate that nomination, Travis. I don't know if that's official or that's very nice of you.
For all you do, you should get
for all I've done. I appreciate that. No, that'd be fun. I guess congratulations to LeBron on all of his hard work.
Well, they talk. There are things that people talk about LeBron in a lot of different ways. I don't think LeBron's better than Michael, but I'm not really.
Yeah, that's not this conversation.
He's not polarizing to me as a human. I get why he does, but I think things take place behind the scenes that a lot of people don't know about. They talk about all this money he's given to Akron and really, invested in the community and stuff that a lot of people don't see.
Yeah,
that you're like, oh, I didn't know he did that. Oh, I didn't know he did that. And so
it's very cool. It's a recognition, I think, Travis, of all of that stuff. The cynical part of my brain just has to point out that Ohio State is doing this for Ohio State.
True. There's some selfishness to it.
Some selfishness to this?
I think you do look at the good works and go, okay, it's because a lot of universities, Iowa State, they'll give honorary doctorates.
Yes.
To people, right?
Yeah.
For good deeds
if
done.
Grandview offered one to me, it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be Grandview going, look at how selfish we. Yeah.
But it definitely, but you do that for a number of reasons. To honor somebody who's done somebody good, but you also do it because most of those honorary doctorates are somebody who's made it quite well in the world, and you go, hey, you have an honorary doctorate. Now can we talk about an honorarium or a scholarship fund that you could be part of our business?
It just so happens at the same presentation where we're honoring you, LeBron, we're introducing this new capital campaign that, and we've, in honor of you, we've decided to make it $23 million as our goal. That's what our goal, $23 million. We're calling it the Leap Like LeBron Fund.
Like you ever get a letter from a fundraiser to say, hey, they're from the honorary chairs, not the chairs, the honorary chairs. The honorary chairs were picked because they have a lot of money and they're using their influence to ask you for more money.
Austin has nailed it here, and I think you've nibbled on it. You're going right at the heart of the matter here, too. Why would Grandview not give me an honorary doctorate? Oh, because I have no money. Ross,
point.
Ross, what can you help us with? Like, I can carry some things.
You have some people moving in and are going to teach. I could find them a house.
I can help them find houses. Let me show you how the MLS works.
1.5%. That'll be my donation. 515-517-2303. We come back. Greg Edwards from Catch Des Moines scheduled to join us as he is getting ready to kick off retirement. We'll talk to him about his 25-year career with Catch Des Moines next on the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
I'm Tyler Koenig. I'm a Chevy technician. I've worked here for almost a little over 3 years. I was a student at BMAC for Automotive Applied Science. Through school, you have to work at a shop, and Darcy offered me a job through school. Willis sponsors the community college. The variety of what we get, I work on the Corvettes, and then I also work on the trucks. Get outside. I have a motorcycle, so I ride my motorcycle. You have both the city, and then if you want to get, like, Ledges is 30 minutes away.
I'm loving these wooden nickels, Brian.
Yeah, I suppose everyone is catching on.
Just spend $20 to get a wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings on your next purchase.
Some of these are worth $5. That could be huge.
I know, right? That's why you have to spend $20.
It's 25.
Collect 10. It's like money back to you.
Spend 20, you get another wooden nickel.
It's 25.
Collect 10 and add up the savings. It's huge.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
It's huge.
With over 260 beers on tap, El Bait Shop isn't just another craft beer bar. It's the best. Beer lovers know. El Bait Shop, 200 Southwest 2nd, Des Moines.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
Are you thinking about buying a home this year? Start by getting pre-approved with Gary Presnall at Northwest Bank in Des Moines to see how much you can qualify for and what loan programs meet your needs. Gary can get you pre-approved in 30 minutes or less with a pre-approval letter to you. Gary offers first-time homebuyers programs, VA loans along with FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Summer's on its way, and that means road trips, travel, and summer activity. Is your car ready? Come in now and get your maintenance done, like air conditioning, alignment, and fluid services to make sure your Land Rover is ready for everything the summer can throw at it. Schedule service online at LandRoverDesMoines.com or give us a call today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back to the Rush. Strong opinions, weak filters, and just enough sense to stay on the air. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.
Hey, can you resend the link to Edwards? He said it was he had clicked it, but he wasn't able to hear us there. So he just gave me a call, said that he had hit the link, but he wasn't able to see us or hear us yet.
Give me a sec.
Give
me a sec. That's weird. Oh, and the music ends.
Yeah, of course it does. Of course it does. Welcome back to The Rush, therushradio.com, powered by Willis Automotive. You can, of course, follow us on all the socials, and normally that little graphic is up so I can follow that a little bit easier.
Give me a second, you impatient.
No, I'm ramping. You do your thing. I'll do me. Jeez. See how impatient he is? What I deal with all the time? You can follow us on Twitter, follow X, follow us on Facebook. Of course, follow the show on YouTube. There's our Instagram, The Rush Radio Show. I have been failing the last couple days to share it on Facebook and Twitter. I need to start doing that again. But anyway,
it's okay. It's okay.
So hopefully Greg can figure this. I really am excited about talking to Greg, man. We had this set up for about a week, and I want people to understand what Greg has done to our community, how different Des Moines is, like the things that we get to do. The NCAA tournament is maybe the best example of it. The NCAA
There's so many others. There's so many others.
Yeah. Oh, so many. And then what doing those things and putting all the things in line to allow the NCAA tournaments to come here, how that opened up other things for us here in Des Moines, and so anyway,
we just learned he's not technologically challenged.
There it is.
Look at that. You got a that was like the Trump thumbs up. Did you see that?
Love
there
it.
There it is. There. Now all you got to do is do a little dance, Greg. Do a little dance.
Morning, guys.
What's up, buddy?
on?
Good morning to you. You're already at the office. Look at you. You're or is this home?
This is home. I'm ready to go to the office, but too doggone early right now, you know.
So we hear that a lot.
You're getting ready to ride off into the sunset. When is? I know you're going to stay on in the transition, but when is the last day for Greg Edwards?
Probably be July 30. Originally our fiscal year ends June 30, but we were hosting, of course, the National Senior Games in July, and those good folks that run the game say you got to stick around for this. So I'm happy to do so. It's a great event. 12,000 athletes, 50 years older. 26 different sports all around the community. Big deal. So excited to host that.
All right, but before we get to the end, let's go back to the beginning, Greg. So you, to me, are Catch Des Moines. Now, I maybe that's just you've done a good job of positioning yourself there, the way the branding has been. Can you kind of walk us through, when did you even join? Where are you from? When did you come to Des Moines? How did you get involved with the chamber?
Easy story. So I'll give you a quickie story. So my career, I started in hotels, and I ended up in Des Moines at the Marriott from 1983 to 1987 as a sales manager. And that's where I met my wife here in Des Moines. Marriott then transferred us to Overland Park, Kansas, to the Overland Park Marriott, which I spent another 3 years And then by that point, we got married. And unfortunately, being Catholic, the Catholic rhythm method did not work for us. We had 4 kids in 5 years. So here we are, 4 kids living in Kansas City, loving it. And my wife said, honey, this isn't working out very well. I mean, hotel business, you got to remember, you're open 24/7, 365. And she said, what do you got to find something else. And I thought, what am I going to do? This has been my career. So thankfully, the Overland Park Convention and Visitors Bureau had an opening. So I applied. It was a director of marketing, number 2 position. So I went to work there, and it was a great lifestyle change for us. And anyway, spent almost 3 years there. Well, then the Peoria, Illinois job opened. I'm from Peoria, Illinois originally, and the CEO job at the Peoria Area Convention and Visitors Bureau opened. So I applied for that, pulled out some my old records and found out who the civic leaders were and all that, started lobbying. And I got the job in Peoria. Moved back to Peoria 7 years later in Peoria, and had some great accomplishments there. Headhunter reached out and said, hey, the Des Moines job's open. How'd you like to come back to Des Moines? Of course, I still had a lot of contacts back here. I'd stayed in touch with a lot of the people, and I knew actually the CVB people and all that. Plus my wife's family was here. And I said, sure. So came in and interviewed, got the job, and started in 2000. So got here in 2000. You guys are way too young to remember way back to 2000, but
no.
But Des Moines was not the big vibrant place that it is today. Right. Downtown, the joke was the sidewalks get rolled up at 5 o'clock and everybody's spread out to the burbs. We had the old Vets Auditorium. We had the old Convention Center, which is now the YMCA. But there were things beginning to happen within, probably a month or 2. I was summoned over to Polk County for a meeting, and we started talking about this arena idea, this convention center idea, and I was like, oh yes, here we go, and things just started happening, and before you know it, the next 4 or 5 years, we built Wells Fargo Arena, we built the Hy-Vee Hall, which is now EMC Hall, which Wells Fargo is now going to be Casey's. But things just started falling in place. The Science Center moved downtown. The new library moved. World Food Prize moved in. East Village was starting to regenerate and redo its stuff and recreate its stuff, I should say. And West Des Moines is expanding. They're going to build this large shopping mall. Altoona's doing that. I mean, the whole community is like exploding. Great time to be here.
So, this is a loaded question. There's been so many events that have come to Des Moines. The NCAA basketball tournament is probably going to be the crowning achievement, should we say. But I was curious, what was the one event that you just worked your ass on that was really, really hard and it came to fruition that people may take for granted? And I know the NCAA basketball tournament was hard. There's a lot of whining and dining with the NCAA that has to take place. But what was one of those events is like, you worked your tail off, your staff worked their tail off, and you're like, if we get this, it's a big deal. People may not even consider a big deal.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of those events. I mean, they can range from dating way back when we booked the American Association for the Blind. That was quite a coup, and it was a couple thousand people, but we had to work hard. We had to show what we were going to do. I mean, we had to turn the Skywalk system into being obviously blind friendly. We had to deal with their blind dogs, where the dog's going to poop and do their duties, make areas outside the skywalks and access to get outside the skywalk, take their dogs and do their duties. I mean, that's one example, but almost every large group that we deal with, I'll tell you another funny story, was the National Square Dancing Convention.
This is great.
Which was a big deal. And, a couple thousand people and a very structured organization. Their board was made up of, I think there were about 40 people on their board, and they were all husbands and wives. And you had to be married to be on the board. We went out to Spokane, Washington. Chris Coleman, who was a councilman at the time, chairman of my board, went with us. We took 10 or 12 of us out to Spokane to do our final bid. We made these little vests. I still got it. I should have worn my vest today, my little square dancing vest, and presented to them. And they recorded. They told us at the beginning, they said, we are recording everything that you tell us, because I think the convention was 4 years from there. If we can come in and you don't do what you say you're going to do on rental cars or this on hotel rooms, or we're going to know what you originally said. So, where a good salesman might stretch the truth a little bit sometimes. I mean, it was all very factual, and it was quite an accomplishment too. But really going back, I mean, NCAA, we worked that really hard. I mean, we made trips to Indianapolis, and first we brought in, the first biggie was the wrestling championships.
Yeah.
But the NCAA told us early on, hey, you got to start off, you got to prove yourself. We had hosted NCAA track and field championships. So then we hosted regional volleyball championships, women's volleyball. Then we hosted regional women's basketball. And they began to see, gosh, Des Moines, they bring in the crowds. They know what they're doing. They give great welcomes to us. They make the student athlete feel special. We're going to give them a shot at this basketball thing.
Yeah, blind convention and square dancing would not have been at top of my list, but those are good ones. Those are really good examples. I mean, you're kind of a politician without actually having to run for election, I suppose, in a lot of cases.
You kind of are. I mean, you got to bless everybody and be on your toes with everything. Yeah, you're right.
So, Greg, then NCAA, do you consider that to kind of be? Let me back up, because I don't want to answer the question for you. What do you consider to be like a tipping point for when you felt like, okay, things have arrived? Maybe you said the arena was a light bulb moment for you to go, okay, we're going to start moving things in the right direction. Was there an event that you landed that you thought, all right, this is a big domino for me to start moving some pieces?
Yeah, I mean, you look at sports has just created a whole new industry for us. Sports now makes up about 45% of our overall bookings every year. And things like the arena obviously helped. Hy-Vee Hall, which we put in, wrestling tournaments and volleyball tournaments and basketball tournaments. And then when West Des Moines had the vision to build their Mid-American Recplex, huge game changer for us. You think back, so the AAU Junior Olympic Games is the largest youth sport in the country. And we have hosted that event since the 90s, every 5 years, and we've kept it. And we're going to host it again next year. And it's a huge undertaking. It's like 12 to 14,000 kid athletes, high school and younger, using 20-some venues all across the metro. Track and field is their biggie, which is at Drake Stadium. And that's a lot of work. We actually have to put that on ourselves. Costs a lot of money, but it brings in millions and millions of dollars. And that's really kind of how we analyze a lot of this business. Because anymore, I mean, the competition is heavy. Everybody's buying business. You can have a 500-room convention, and we'll do a bid on it. And let's say the rental at the convention center is going to be $30,000. And so we'll put everything together. Here's the room rates. Here's the rental. Here's what we'll do for you. And they'll come back and say, hey, we don't pay rental anywhere. So we'll say, yeah, we'll take care of the $30,000. Well, Oklahoma City's are also going to do this for us. And, we'll do the math on it and say, sure, we can do an opening reception for you or whatever it is. But there's always money involved. Our budget this year was about $1.5 million of what we call bid incentives, basically buying business.
Wow.
Have you ever walked away from a deal just that you got into this and said, you know what? You've gone too far. We're not going. We're out.
We have, we have several times. Is we'll do an analysis. We have an economic impact calculator that's industry wide that we can input. How many people, how many rooms, What are the food and beverage requirements, da, 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 and it'll crank out, what it is in comparison. If you look at what we do, we're losing money by buying this business, but the community is winning. Hotels, restaurants, shopping centers, all that good stuff. So, and that's what we're all about. We're here to boost the economy in the community.
All right. What is the event that you feel like is still maybe the most underrated event in Des Moines, or one that brings in a lot of money that people just don't even realize has the impact it does?
Well, I think it happened last year, and it's going to happen again this year in June. And it's the National Speech and Debate Tournament. This is the largest academic youth conference in the country. That brought in 8,000 kids and their coaches and their families. So there was about 13,000 people in town, 10-day period. The guy that is the CEO, Scott One is his name. He moved the association back to Des Moines from Wisconsin, oh gosh, I don't know, 6-7 years ago. And he had reached out to the superintendent of Waukee Schools and said, hey, I'd like to bring this in to Des Moines. Can I use your schools? Because they needed, all these different classrooms and stuff to do these debates and speeches and competitions and all that. And he bought off on it. Scott then got in contact with us, and we were like, oh, we're all over this, man. And we've created a great relationship with them. We do their housing. We do all their reservation system for them. We do all kinds of extra stuff for them. But man, it is huge and all over the community.
Greg, that's near and dear. I was a debater. It was one of my favorite things I did, and it was the most underrated thing I did in my high school life. But when we did that, when we traveled to places, you stayed with other debaters' families. When you say you facilitate staying, is this hotels or is this family stuff?
It's hotels.
Okay.
It fills about every hotel room in the metro. And I knew that. I knew you were a master debater back in the day.
Put it on the tee for the guy. See what I did?
You listened to hour one.
Hey, actually, Oprah Winfrey was in speech and debate. In fact, she did a video last year for the kids at their big general assembly that they had at Wells Fargo Arena, saying what it meant to her and her career. And so there's a lot of famous people that did speech and debate. I actually did speech and debate. I didn't do debate. I wasn't smart enough. I did speech. I did, comedy, and at my attempt at that.
Can't even imagine, Greg. Can't even imagine.
So you get a lot of credit, and rightfully so. But it takes more than just one person, right? So how important is it to have a shared vision with a guy like Chris Conley at Wells Fargo Arena, with city council members, with community leaders to make this happen? Because you just can't do it by yourself. And this is where I talk about the politics, is that there's got to be other people on board to make this stuff happen.
You better believe it. Yeah. And I give all the credit to, number one, my team. When I got here, I had a great team. A lot of times when you take over an organization, you're like, yeah, I don't like the director of sales. I'm going to bring in my person. I had a great team to start off. I still have a great team. They had turnover through the years, and 25 years, of course you do. And then you got partnerships. You mentioned Chris Conley. Great guy, great thinker. He's very strategic. He and I talk all the time, whether it be, he needed some help with the UFC coming in, which was a huge deal for the event center and for this city. Or I may need help with this and that. So we're always talking, strategizing, things like that. The hotel community, very, very important to us, working with the general managers and the directors of sales throughout the community. All the other venues, Des Moines Parks and Rec with Ben Page and County Complex, and of course West Des Moines and their Recplex, and just anybody that has entities. We have so many people that are part of our team that help us get a lot of this stuff done.
I love the Red Bull Soapbox Derby coming back again. Is there an event that if I gave you that magic wand type of thing, is there an event that you wish you could have brought here that you were never able to, that if you hand off to your predecessor, you say, hey, in the next 5 years, this is your golden goose?
Well, yeah, Red Bull is a cool thing, and I don't think people realize that thing's all over the world.
It's amazing.
And this year, the only 2 places in the United States that are Red Bull Derbies are Los Angeles and Des Moines. Can you believe that?
I did not know
I didn't know
part
that.
of it.
I had no
That's
idea
awesome.
about that.
Yeah, pretty cool. And a lot of credit goes to Voss Distributing, who brings that deal to us. But yeah, gosh, I'm trying to think of. I mean, we have a list right now. We've got about 80. I think we have 83 proposals out to different organizations. And that always ranges anywhere from probably 80 to 100 and something that we're currently bidding on. Some are small, some are medium, some are large. We go after a lot of different markets. So we really concentrate like on the religious market, the agriculture market, medical market is good. Obviously sports market. I'm trying to think, rack my brain here if there's anything really incredible. I'll tell you one thing we did book. Trina Flack, our vice president of sales, led the charge on this, but we are bringing in a group called Teams, and Teams is the largest sporting conference in the country that brings in every Olympic body committee people in. It brings in all the different sports people, AAU, Triple SA, American Softball Association, on and on and on. And it's a huge, huge thing because they're coming into your city. Now it's going to cost us a ton of money to do because you got to comp all the big shots and wine and dine them and all that, but it'll have great payback. That's way out in the future.
Yeah. Okay.
But those are the kinds of things we vision out so far,
So I should know this, but I don't. Have they named your successor yet? And how much say will you have in that? Because do you want it to be somebody who's already here? I know you came in from Peoria, and a lot of this happens. But with the continuity, we talked about it with Greg McDermott, right? He has picked his successor to lead Creighton basketball because he doesn't want the culture to change. He doesn't want to be any drop-off. Would you like to see one of your current team members get the job?
Yeah, and I've done that too. Number one, we have not named the person. Our board, our executive board, formed a search committee made up of 5 people. We hired a search firm. They decided, even though I had a succession plan internally and have an in-house person that wants to go for the job, they said, we should still do a search, a national search, and hired a company called Searchwide, which really specializes in CVB searches. I've known these people for forever. They do a wonderful job. I am not part of it. In fact, I was a little shocked when we first lined up with Searchwide, and I said, "So what's my role?" And they're like, "Well, you're not even a part of it. You won't know what's going on." I'm like, 25 years here, and kind of just throw me out with the water. Huh? And anyway, it was a good move because then I don't have to be involved.
Yeah.
But they're in the process now. I think they've got it narrowed down to some top candidates, and I don't know anything else about it, quite honestly. I'll probably know towards the end. I'm sure I'll know towards the end, but yeah, things are moving though pretty good. I think their intent is to have somebody on board and in the job by early July. If it's an in-house person, probably don't need to train them. But if it's somebody from outside, I'll help get them acclimated. But I don't want to be a bother to them. They're going to have their own style, and they don't want this short little old man running around.
Yeah, they'd hate to have somebody make their job easier for them and actually introduce them to the people that are going to, help things move here in town. That'd be awful.
Yeah, exactly.
So do you see? We got to wrap it up. But do you see yourself as a consultant? Do you see yourself as a full-time retiree? Are we talking, wintering in Florida, or Arizona, summering in Des Moines? What's the plan?
We're gonna stay put here. I'm going to stay active. I'm going to stay active with the Principal Charity Classic Board and some of the other boards that I'm on. If some other, smaller CVBs around the state want some help, I'm going to travel there and give them a helping hand. Not steal any business from Des Moines, but to help them out, maybe create whatever they want to create. We have 2 grandkids here. We have 2. One more should have been born about an hour ago in Kansas City.
Oh, congratulations!
So I'm going to head down this afternoon. Yeah,
wow.
Number 3 for them.
My 4 kids. The Greg Edwards consulting firm is the way to go here. Travis is onto it.
Yeah, because you can charge lawyer type hourly rates.
Don't I wish? I'll be like $5.50 an hour. I'm from the 70s,
No, don't do that. You're like a $250 to $350 guy. I was talking to a lawyer yesterday. He's like, I'm $350 an hour. I said, yeah, let's hope we don't have to. I have to use you because that's way out of my price range.
Greg, thank you. Hey, thanks so much for everything. Thanks for being here. Thanks for everything you did for our community. As a Des Moines guy through and through, it feels like you were born and raised here too, with how much you love this community. Thank you so much for your hard work.
I do. Thank you. You guys do a wonderful job. Appreciate you very much.
Thanks, we try. Hey, I think we're going to be doing something on the 30th if you want to come see us. We'll keep you posted, but we're supposed to be something on the 30th, so hopefully you can make it down. Ross is like, what are you talking about? So,
cool.
all right, Greg, we'll catch up soon. Thanks, bud.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Greg Edwards joining us on the Rush Radio Show. Ross is like, what are we doing? You remember the night before the Shane Gillis show?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. That's coming up. Holy cow.
Yeah, we're going to have to give those tickets away next week. If you want to go see Shane Gillis, go to therushradio.com, click on the promotions tab, click and just fill out that form, and you're going to be registered to win. I don't know how we're going to give them away yet, but we're gathering those names, and you get to sit with Ross and myself in the Choice Community Credit Union suite and watch some funny comedy.
The one thing we didn't get to Greg with was the new stadium, the football stadium, the soccer stadium. Is that going to happen down there by Grays Lake or whatever? But man, that dude. And by the way, you want to know what Chris Connolly? I wrote to Chris and I said, "What's the one thing about Greg's resume that our audience should know about?" And I want to read this to you. He says it's getting the NCAA men's basketball tournament back in 2016. We had one failed bid after another, and Greg wouldn't give up. He organized a trip to Indianapolis. We met with the NCAA staff, and that gave us a blueprint on how to get the tourney to Des Moines. The rest is history. That was all Greg. He's all heart. He loves Des Moines. People have a really hard time telling him no, and I love that guy, and we are all going to miss him. The one thing that upsets me there is, we hired a consulting firm to come in to tell us who's going to be the best person to replace you. I get that they have to say you're out, but man, what made mountains move over the last 25 years was that guy.
515-517-2303. That wraps up today's show. Fun show. I want to thank Greg Edwards for coming on. We're back tomorrow with a Thirsty Thursday. Bruno will be joining us and talking beer and the weekend and a lot more. It's the Rush Radio Show at therushradio.com.
Spring is here, and so are spring pests. Whether it's birds in your dryer vent, raccoons in your chimney, squirrels in your soffit, ants in your kitchen, or bats in your attic, with over 20 years of experience, Bats and Bugs Pest Solutions can help. Call us today at 515-218-3400 to schedule your inspection and see how Bats and Bugs can help prevent your home from becoming their home.
The Royal Mile, where everyone's a wee bit British. The Royal Mile is downtown Des Moines' living room with classic pub favourites. Pair them with a glass of whiskey or an expertly poured Guinness. It's bloody brilliant. The Royal Mile, a proper British pub.
Fong's Pizza has moved to 317 East Court in the East Village and is ready for good weather with an expanded menu and a patio that is ready for pals, pints, and pizza. Fall in love all over again with the new Fong's in the East Village.
Thinking about buying a home? Get pre-approved in 30 minutes with Gary Presnell at Northwest Bank in Des Moines. Gary offers first-time home buyers programs, VA, FHA, IFA, and conventional loans. Call Gary at 515-975-6767 or find his profile at nw.bank. Member FDIC Equal Housing Lender.
You know, Brian, at Central City, we really do have the best selection around.
I know. High-quality stuff you can't find anywhere else.
Whistle Pig, plantation rum.
Yeah, and over 150 of the best scotches on earth.
And a ton of bitters, mixers, and more.
You know what we are? High class.
Definitely high class, yeah. Make way for the natty.
Okay, maybe medium class.
Central City Liquors, home of the 10% cash coupon.
And the wooden nickel program.
The sun's out and the deals are hot. It's time to spring into savings at Willis Chevrolet of Granger. We're your small town, family-owned Chevy store. Drive home a new Silverado 1500 with 2.9 APR for 72 months. Get 1.9 APR on the dependable Chevy Equinox, or take on any adventure in a rugged new Colorado with $1,000 total cash allowance. Think electric? Step into the future with the all-new Equinox EV and enjoy $7,500 in potential federal tax credits. Stop in today or visit us online at willischevy.com.
There's a new spin on casual dining near Drake University. Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers. Craveable faves, flatbreads, delicious burgers, frozen cocktails, and a crazy cool vibe. Get to Lucky Horse Beer and Burgers today.
The best bread is made from scratch, freshly baked with locally sourced ingredients and love. At Big Sky Bakery, we take great pride in our delicious products. We know you'll enjoy them almost as much as we enjoy baking them. Find us at the downtown Des Moines Farmers Market every Saturday.
Back like a rash you thought was gone. Travis and Ross aren't contagious, but they are addictive. It's the Rush Radio Show, powered by Willis Automotive.